It is 8:31 on the East Coast of the United States of America in Cleveland, Ohio, and this is another episode of Hill Talk Sports. I'm your host, TJ Hill. Scott Kennison, my co-host, is out this week taking care of some business. I'm joined by a longtime friend, brother, former player, all the above, Cole Yerkowicz. Cole, how you doing, man?
Doing well, Coach. Thanks for having me.
Hey man, always good to have you, man. I love your wisdom, your knowledge, the way you chime in and break down stuff for us medically as well as sports. This is great. Cole, real quick, give them a little background about who you are for our new listeners.
Yeah. So Fairview's finest,
Yes.
Lewis F. Mayer Middle School, um, class of 2014. Went to St. Edward High School in the Cleveland area, and I'm currently a senior at Miami University, studying biochemistry and kinesiology.
There you go. There you go. So you can work on our muscles and give us medicine to heal our bodies at the same time. I love it. I love it.
Yes,
So
sir.
we're gonna do a recap of the Super Bowl and the playoffs real quick, and talk about a few other things going on right now. Cavaliers are doing pretty good. They are, believe, in the third spot right now. They were as high as two. I do believe before the end of the season they'll get to the first number one spot. 2 games behind, I think it's Miami right now, and I do believe they will at some point ascend to the number one ranks. Will they keep that and hold it to the playoffs? I highly doubt it because Miami and Chicago are more seasoned, but I do believe the Cavs will lock in a top four seed before it's over. That's what my assumption is of the Cavaliers season. If they don't get any injuries and they stay hot, so we'll see what happens. All Star break coming up pretty soon in Cleveland. Hasn't been here since I believe '97. I think that's the last time the Cavs hosted the All Star game. Um, Talk about LeBron and some of the reboots on the line comments he's been making. Well, maybe not him, but somebody in his camp making some announcements or little things here. We'll see how that goes. So, get to dive into Super Bowl real fast. Who'd you have?
I had Bengals, man.
Yeah, the Bengals. Did you have the Bengals because they're from Ohio or because you like them as a team? Because a lot of people out there had the Bengals because they are an Ohio team. They're our division, and they felt like, well, kind of like when a school of North plays in the bowl game. Well, Big Ten, so let's root for the Big Ten teams. Kind of like that. A lot of Browns haters were saying, if you like Cincinnati right now, you're not a true Browns fan. I disagree with that. You can be a fan of more than one team. You can have your main team, and then you can have other teams that you support when they're not playing your team. That's how I feel. But the Bengals. Why did you have the Bengals picked?
I had the Bengals picked because, quite frankly, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase won me my fantasy league. Hard not to root for those guys after that.
All right, all right,
And
all right.
my roommate is the biggest diehard fan of any team I've ever met, and he's a Bengals fan. So it was hard
Okay.
spending time with him, seeing how excited it made him to not want them to go all the way and win that game.
I mean, I think I had them picked to win. I do a little poll on the side with a few friends of mine, and I think out of the eight of us, two picked the Rams to win. So kudos to them. But I had the Bengals winning because I'm a big fan of Joe Burrow. I like what the kid is doing. I liked him in college actually. Yeah, I went to the spring game when Haskins won the job, and I think Tate Martell was there too. Tate Martell looked horrible out there. I'm like, what is this kid doing? Like, he can't throw the ball. He can run though. Um, Haskins didn't look bad. He wasn't accurate like I wanted him to be, but Burrows was lighting it up out there. I'm like, who is this kid? Why is he doing it like this? Oh my god! And I did the research on him and found out where he's from, Athens and everything like that. I think it's Athens. Um,
Yep.
so I did research on him, found out he was great in high school. So I wanted him to win because of the way he carries himself. You get to compare the two. You You got Baker Mayfield, who's going to year 5. He's won one playoff game. Granted, it was Pittsburgh, so that's good for you. But you got Joe Burrows, who is in his second year out of college and has only lost one playoff game, and that's Super Bowl. You took the Bengals to the Super Bowl after a 30 something year absence, and you came up 3 points shy of winning this game in your second year. They're not even a complete team yet. Their O line is horrible. You got sacked 9 times in the playoff game. What was it? 70 got sacked yesterday, something like that. Some
Yeah.
outrageous number. Your O line's not good. Your defense is they got hit and miss, but the defense is decent. You can fix that with a couple players. I think defense shore them up. Offense needs a lot of work, especially on the line. But here's the thing about the Bengals that people don't pay attention to. When you ask the question, can they come back next year and do it again, or are they going to be around for a while doing this? The answer is to me is yes. The Bengals, as they're constructed right now, have $68.5 million under the cap to spend. What? So you got a team that won 4 games over the last couple of years, had the number one pick, tore his knee up, came back from that, balled out this year. I think one game he had 500 yards or something like that, just a perfect point. And you turn around and tell me this guy got $68 million to spend in the free agency and the draft's coming up? They're going to be a problem for a while. The AFC, our division is going to be a problem because, well, we got to see who Pittsburgh going to pick a quarterback first. Who the guy's going to be? Are they going to draft, trade, keep move up Haskins or move up Rudolph? We got to check that out first. Then you got Cincinnati, who is we see what they're about to do. You got Baltimore, a very injured Baltimore who will come back next year, most likely healthy. Baltimore was a problem injured. Imagine them healthy. And here are the Browns, whose receiving core is probably going to be depleted because there's no guarantee Jarvis is going to stay. And at best, Jarvis is not number one receiver anymore either, or never was really. You have no number one threat to go down the field. You have to draft that threat. The Browns' first pick should be a receiver. Has to be a receiver. It's a passing league. Then you got Baker Mayfield, Mr. Frat Boy himself, Mr. I hurt my shoulder, hurt my foot, I hurt my hip, hurt everything else. Everything hurts, so I'm still going to play because I'm not hurting the team. You kind of hurt the team, bro. You kind of hurt the team. You can't sit there and tell everybody you're not going to play if you can hurt the team, but you did hurt the team, but by playing. It makes no sense to
Oh,
me.
but where is somebody telling him that? I mean, come on. You can't leave that up to him after a certain point.
You can't. And I honestly think that I think ownership is still got his head in his stuff. He's been very quiet publicly, but I think behind the scenes he's pulling strings because I can't see them. I would have sat him. I
Hmm.
would have sat him. Number one pick or not. You're injured. Get better. Bye. I'm paying $7 million to a backup. Come on, let's go. You know the system already. Run it. Let's go.
Right.
It made no sense to me. Logically, it made no sense. Now you coach. What you coach rugby?
Yep.
Okay, you coach rugby as a coach. You got your star player out there injured. You gonna play him, or you gonna be like, nope, sit down. We're gonna keep rolling without you. We have to. Further, you're
No,
gonna
sit
further injure
down.
that person, and you're hurting your team. So take him out. So do you remember the Pittsburgh game? Was it Pittsburgh? I believe it was Pittsburgh. Then they had a rookie tackle playing.
Hmm.
Yes, it was Pittsburgh. And Watt was
Yep.
lighting them up all game.
Yep.
But you run, you run the tight ends. You run the tight end set. You run triple tight ends at times. You got all the tight ends healthy, but you didn't put a tight end to help that tackle out at all. A rookie going against Watt ate him up, ate Baker up. To me, that was the coach making a statement to ownership and to Baker. I will embarrass you. Stefanski is supposed to be a smart man. So my idea was that he set Baker up in that game. Now you don't want to accuse the coach of doing something like that, but at the same time, if you're that smart, why wouldn't you have somebody helping to chip him? There is an issue with Baker and the coach. I don't care what nobody says.
Yeah.
It's very obvious to see. They can lie all they want to and say it's all good. It's not good. Something's wrong with that situation all around. But I digress. Talk about Baker in the spring after he heals up a little bit. Let's get back to the Super Bowl because we got off track for a minute about Baker. We got to
Yeah,
stop doing that. But all in all, I think the playoffs all together was great playoffs. Cincinnati,
outstanding.
oh my God, every game was tight. Every game. Super
After you
Bowl
got
didn't
through that
disappoint. Yeah.
wild card weekend.
Yes. Um, I think the calls towards the end when the Rams scored the go-ahead touchdown, I think the call on the linebacker was iffy. I wouldn't
Hmm.
have called that as a referee. The one in the end zone on a Cooper Cup, I would have called that. You see him grab his jersey. You saw him grab it.
Yeah,
The other one where he had his hand on him but didn't pull or grab him, I wouldn't have called that. I wouldn't have called it. I just wouldn't have. A lot of guys feel that way too. I listen to the radio today. A lot of guys said they wouldn't have called that either. He didn't grab his jersey. He was there and he batted the ball away. I mean, you can't have no contact whatsoever. He didn't pull him. It wasn't pass interference to me. He actually hit the ball. I
I
mean,
agree with you on that. I mean, it's tough though.
it is.
Hindsight's 2020.
Yeah,
They made the call. That's how it happened. I
they
mean,
did.
if you're playing your game right, you're not in a position to lose because of a call.
Was it a makeup call from the touchdown from the second half? Because he did pull that face mask. That was slick
It
move
did.
though.
It was a great move.
That was slick.
Um, I was watching that replay. I'm like, damn, he really got away with one
I mean,
there.
it was beautiful, man. Like, oh, and then catch it and gone. See ya.
I don't believe in the makeup call. Um,
You don't think so?
no, no,
Really?
I think what it was that ref ego saying, hey, we haven't gotten enough FaceTime on this broadcast yet. I'm gonna throw the flag so I get my face out there too, show my
So,
family I'm doing something.
dude, that last drive when they got to 20-yard line, it was flag, 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 flag.
No
I'm like,
kidding.
what is going on with this? Like, stop throwing the flags, please. You're killing me here. So you got the Rams. Stafford finally got a ring. The big talk in Cleveland, of course, is Odell Beckham.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I don't care. I don't care. You
I
got
don't
a ring.
either.
But people are here posting stuff. If you are a fan of Odell Beckham winning the ring, you're not a true Browns fan. Listen, he wanted out of here for a reason, and he got what he wanted. But I think did he tear his knee up again?
Yeah,
It's
it's
an
a
ACL again,
re-tear.
right? Damn, different knee though.
I mean that's not confirmed yet, but I mean just looking at that video, you see clear anterior tibial translation of that
Mm.
same knee, and that's pretty indicative, especially with valgus collapse, foot being posted in the ground.
With that being said, so likely he will not play next season. If maybe not. Well, first of all, his contract is up with the Rams, isn't it? It was just for
I
this
believe
year, I
so.
believe.
Yeah,
So you're looking at no team to play for right now because you technically be a free agent. Who's going to sign you with a torn up knee? I mean, I'm sure somebody would do it, but who? Who's going to take that gamble right now? Because there's
I
no
don't know
guarantee you
with
coming
that
back
with
good.
that second one, with that being his second. I don't know.
I think it may be
That's
done.
that's different than a first ACL tear.
I think he might be. He might
He
be.
might be.
That might be it. I mean, but what better way to go out?
No
What better
kidding.
way to go out? You wait the way
No
your
kidding.
season started to where your season ended, and this all happened in one season.
Yep.
Tore up last year. You got traded to Cleveland. You didn't want to come here. Fine, whatever. New York was any better, but anyways, uh, you played decent. You tore your knee up. You come back from that. You still step behind a little bit. The episode video. Boom. Here we are. You go to the
Yeah.
Rams. You help. You contribute to the Rams. You helped them get to Super Bowl because they were 7-1 at one point and fell off a little bit, then bounced back and won the games that got them in there.
Yeah.
Um, so you make a Super Bowl and you contribute right away in that game.
You ball
Like
out for that
it looked
beginning of the
like
game.
it looked like it's gonna be a long game for
Yep.
Cincinnati. So I'm like, if Odell's doing that right now, wait till Cooper get hot because
No kidding.
sometimes it takes a minute to get hot. If they both like that, it's gonna be 500 yards and it's gonna be a blowout. Then he got hurt. So I'm like, okay, windows open now for Cincinnati to make some noise here. Let's go. Now you got one receiver to worry about, Cooper. But arguably, my opinion, probably the best receiver in the league right now.
Easy.
I don't think there's an argument about that. If it is, somebody needs some medical help. But anyways,
Yeah.
seriously, dude is unreal. The stuff he could do, man. Like it's amazing. So But then at the end of the game, you see who got hot and who did it by himself. Cooper. I mean, every pass,
I
boom,
mean,
boom, boom, boom. It was great to
unbelievable. And
watch.
when he's the only receiver, Higby's out,
Yes,
OBJ's out, and so all they have to do, they can double him up all day, and he still goes and balls out like that.
dude.
Unbelievable.
I mean, that's great work ethic. Everything is just it's amazing. It was great to watch. As a former player, as a coach, that kind of stuff you love to see
Oh yeah,
because this kid came out of nowhere and he
yeah,
just out there balling. He's the best. Right? He's the best out there right now. I'm sorry. Let's talk about defense for a minute. Defensive line for the Rams stepped up in a huge way. Now they were
yeah,
playing against a subpar Bengals lineup on the offensive line, but there were times the Bengals offensive line held them
yeah.
in
I
check.
mean, they were playing against a team that made it to the Super Bowl.
Exactly, they made that for a reason.
Yep.
Um, at the end of that game, man, the pass rush was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like play after play, Burrow couldn't do anything.
No
I thought
kidding.
Burrow tore his knee up again too.
Oh, I know that.
I saw his
That
face. I'm
was
like, no,
well, that was his other knee.
I know. I saw his face. I was like, oh man, don't tell me this
I
dude's
know.
again, not again. So thank God he came back in there and he was able to play through it or whatever. And hopefully it's nothing serious. I just like Joe Burrow's style, man. He just what they call him, Joe Cool.
Joe
E-
Cool, Joe Shiesty, Joe Brr.
Even in defeat, he was just like, yeah, we lost. We're back. We're young. I'm just
Yeah.
like, damn. Other players would be all like, man, they cheated. No, he was just like, all right, see you next year.
And the way he carried himself through the playoffs, like he was not satisfied at one point,
No, no,
but never
no.
cocky.
What I always say, there's cocky, confident. Cocky, I'm coming after you. Confident, you have my respect. I
Exactly.
think most players respect that kid in the league. I really do
100%.
believe that. Um, so favorites for next year, man. Favorites for next year. It's hard to
It's
say
early.
because you got a lot of teams out there. And are the Rams? I don't have in front of me the Rams contract status with their players. I know they built this team kind of like the Lakers built their team in the past to like
Yeah.
win it right now, and they did that. Um, well, Odell's gonna be gone. We know that for sure. Whether he signs or not, he's done for next year, or at least the start of
Hmm.
it. Um, Defensively, you got some guys that might be gone too, or retiring. So we'll see how that goes. I don't think the Rams are that team to get back to it next year.
Nope.
There is an outstanding rumor out there about Tom Brady unretiring. It's been
Of
circulating
course,
for a
that
while,
rumor is going to be out there, though.
but guess what team? San Fran. If you put Tom Brady with San Fran, that could be nasty, even for 1 year.
Could be.
Even for 1 year. I'm not sure how the contract was. How does that work when you retire? Can you be under contract, retire, and then come back with another team?
Not
I'm not sure how that
necessarily. I
works.
mean, Gronk was still under contract, and they had to go through a whole thing to get him released from his contract in New England just to go play in Tampa Bay.
So if Tom Brady did come out of retirement, they have to do something with Tampa Bay if he's still under contract to get him out of
Right.
there. Then you got Aaron Rodgers, who hasn't really said what he wants to yet. Earlier in the season, he said, "This is my last year at Green Bay." Reworked the
Yeah.
contract so he can get out this year. Um, so it's a number of revolving pieces around this. That what is February 14th. So draft is in April.
Couple
So
months.
we'll know in a couple months. We'll start hearing more traction about these different moves people are
Yep.
going to make and stuff, and it'll be very interesting to see where these people land and where they have to go. So we're going to talk about the Cavs real quick. Move on to
Heard.
them because I'm not a big basketball guy, but I do like when my team wins. So
Yeah.
I'm on the bandwagon right now with the Cavaliers because I feel like they're doing it the right way, in my opinion. I've
Yeah.
always said the Cavs need to just draft and build like Golden State, but it's really not Golden State's blueprint. It's San Antonio's blueprint. The Spurs they built this blueprint a long time ago, and I think
Hmm.
I think they took over. Oh, here we go. All right, so the Cavaliers right now are sitting at 35-22, 2 games out of first place. Miami at 37-20. So I believe it's 1 game left for the All Star break, and then you
Yep,
go on break and come back. Um, 35 win. I think the Cavs can win 50 games this year. I think they
could
can.
be.
Now imagine the Cavs winning 50 games without LeBron. First of all, 35 games without LeBron. That hasn't happened. Every time the
Right.
Cavaliers are successful, LeBron James is playing with them. Of course, there's always a buzz about LeBron James coming back.
Yeah.
Have you noticed the mural downtown they built? Not the mural, but the Sherman Williams building again. I forgot
I've
the other
not.
players, but it's LeBron's on there again.
Oh,
It's other players with him, but they're wearing the All Star jerseys, East and West and stuff, and he's in the center though. He's centerpiece of it. And I'm sitting here going like, are we going to pander this guy some more? Really? We left him twice.
yeah.
Think about it though. I mean, dude, he came out of high school, whatever, hometown guy, home state guy, not hometown. Because be honest
Yeah.
with you, LeBron doesn't really like Cleveland. He's an Akron guy. He'll let you know. I'm a kid
Yep.
from Akron, not from Cleveland. So when they say hometown, they ain't talking about us. He's talking about 77 South. And that's fine.
Yep.
Nothing. I have no problem with that. But people get mad when they think that LeBron really cares about the city of Cleveland itself. He doesn't. He didn't put out a promise school in Cleveland, did he?
No.
Could have. You got the money to do it. Did you send those kids from I Promise to Cleveland State University? No, they're going to Kent State University or Akron. They're not going
Right.
to Cleveland State. You did what you did for whatever reason. He's still getting a statue downtown when he retires. We already know that. It's going to happen. My
Easy.
belief, honestly, is LeBron James will be the future owner of the Cavaliers.
Ooh.
I do believe that. Now he's a billionaire right now. Technically, he's a billionaire. I think it's 300 million from basketball and 700 million from endorsements. So he's a billionaire.
Sheesh.
You have backing from all kind of different people that you know, Jay Z and whoever else that you know, Kevin Hart, that have money that can influence and help you do this. So
Right.
my thing is, once you retire, which the speculation about that is, he's going to wait till Bronny gets in the league. Um, he does. Okay, Lewis said he always says Northeast Ohio, not Cleveland. That is true, but he never says Cleveland. I've heard him say that. I heard him say, "I'm just a kid from Akron, Ohio."
Yep.
It's facts. Um, so I think he'll put the money together down the road after he retires, and I think he will try to buy from Dan. What better way to say "f you" to Dan than buy your team?
There ain't none.
All right, hey, you did me dirty with that letter. I'm gonna buy your team one day. It could happen. He does want to be an owner. I think. I think I heard him say that he wants to be an owner one day. So you ain't owning the Lakers. That ain't happening. LeBron's not long to be on the West Coast. I'll tell you that right now. He's gonna find a way to work his businesses from the East Coast, and he's coming back here with his kids. Now he could retire here, or he can come here and play 1 more year. I think he might do that 1 day contract signing thing and sign the contract 1 day and then retire with Cavalier. Who knows? Who knows? But with this team built as it is, would you want LeBron James to come back and join the Cavaliers?
So before I get into it at all,
Mm-hmm.
I have to say today is the day of the year that I start getting into basketball.
Okay.
So I had to play some catch up this morning, but I don't know. That's tough because you can't deny just what LeBron brings to the table, what he's always brought to the table, that star power, that leadership. Um, but at the same time, we've got a team, and that's hard to beat. So it's a tough ask. But at the end of the day, I think yeah, I'd want LeBron.
I don't know. I got mixed feelings about it. I do. I I don't know if he would mess the chemistry up with this team. And plus, who would you have to give up to get him back here? It ain't gonna be
That's the real
cheap.
question.
Rumor was it was Love and Saxon and maybe a Coral. I don't like that. I don't like that
That's
because
tough.
Love is happy right now.
Yep.
Love is happy. Think about this. Think about this guy, man. He was sucking all this time, doing bad. And all of a sudden, he's rejuvenated. Um, he's a veteran player helping these young kids develop. He's
Yep.
contributing major points. It ain't like he's scoring like 4 points a game and getting 2 rebounds. He's scoring points like he did back when he was a starter. Off the bench, he's doing this. So he found his role. He found a way to be happy and produce and still love the game. I mean, he getting paid enough. Why not
Yep.
use him? Um, I don't know, man. Again, mixed feelings on the whole thing about LeBron James. It could be just hearsay. It could be real. Um, Lewis chimed in and said he'll be a horrible owner with his hands. Oh, there it is right there. You guys can read that. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. He might not be a bad owner. Look. LeBron James has always done one thing, and that's surround himself with people that know more about the business than he does. Okay,
Yeah.
whether it's Warren Buffett or whoever else, Jay Z. He always tries to surround himself with guys who know more about a business than he does, so he can learn from the best. So I think that, with that being said, he would probably lean on some of the other NBA owners that he may be cool with because he know he got some in his pocket somewhere, and get information from them about how to run the team successfully. Um, I would keep it as is constructed right now. I wouldn't change the lineup or the front office right now because front office guys doing a great job, I think. So I wouldn't change any of that. Um, who the Cavs got tonight? They play anybody tonight, or is it tomorrow night? Cavaliers play tomorrow night against the Hawks. The Hawks are 26-30.
Ooh.
Cavaliers are 35. Yeah, I know. See, it's another thing about this because you go to these teams right now, and the conference here. So you got Atlanta. Right now, Atlanta is number 10. So they got to play Charlotte to get in the playoffs. And you got your Toronto and Brooklyn, 29-27. Mr. Kyrie play away games. New York got that band on the shot, right? On the
Hmm.
COVID shot. New York has a band. You can't play sports if you don't have the shot.
Yeah.
California did the same thing, but I heard California lifted that.
Yeah.
Don't know for sure now.
I I'm not super up to date on all the rules and regulations of all that.
They change every 5 days.
No kidding.
Like what is going? 14 days. Oh, 10 days. Now it's 5 days. Now we can test you at all.
Yeah.
So you go to a store, put your mask on, but you go to a stadium, free for all.
Yeah, and there was a teacher in LA that was saying how her third graders have to wear masks all day. Yet you've got this stadium of 80,000 people and nobody's got a mask on, not a mask in sight.
Players, coaches,
No.
cameramen, reporters.
No.
It's like it never
It's not.
happened.
No kidding.
I don't understand. I don't understand what's going on with that. It's confusing to me. Yeah. Okay. So that was funny. Sorry, it caught me off guard there. All right. So your top six teams are Boston, Philly, Minnesota, not Minnesota, Milwaukee, Cleveland, Chicago, and Miami. So Cavs right now third seed. They are 18-9 at home, 17-13 away, and they have lost one game. But Miami's on fire, winning five in a row. That's the thing that's scary. Miami's not
Yeah.
letting go of that. Miami's not letting go of that lead in the front. All right, West. Let's go to the West for a minute. Phoenix Suns. Now I haven't been up on basketball like I should be. Phoenix is 46-10.
Holy
Where'd they
smokes.
come from? Golden State started off real hot. They're 42-15. Like the West is crazy. The worst team in the West, as far as the top six seeds, is Denver at 31-25. 31 wins for the number six seed. Then you got 23 wins for the number 10 seed, which is kind of even with the East Coast over here. Um, Again, my belief is the Cavaliers will get to that number one seed at some point this season. Will they hold it? I don't think they will hold it based on their youth. Because I think
Right.
You're gonna have Milwaukee, Philly's getting hot, Chicago's getting right there, Miami's hot right now, 5 in a row. So the teams I would worry about are the top five teams or top other teams in the top five: Milwaukee, Philly, Chicago, Miami. Um, I do think the Cavs can take a top four seed though. I believe that. So where do you think the Cavs at this date? We can always revisit this later on down the line as the season progresses. Where do you think they're placed at right now as far as the playoffs? I think they're in for the playoffs. I don't see them
Oh,
collapsing.
absolutely. And no,
I don't see them collapsing because you're in the third spot. You got to go on 10 just to get out.
right.
So what do you think
Yeah, no,
about the
they're in for
Cavaliers'
sure.
chances of finishing in the top four?
Ugh. See, I don't love their chances of the top four. Um, I don't even know that they're at the top half, you know?
Ooh, ooh.
Um,
So you think?
you
Okay,
know,
let me rephrase the question. Do you
hit
see
me.
the Cavs in a top six spot where they can lock in, or you see them in the play-in game?
Playing game.
Ooh, so they're
Just
gonna
because of youth, man.
did they collapse
It's
a little bit?
tough. A little bit, but I think that they play strong.
I don't know. See, well, you know what? Yeah, I mean, the first team, number seven, is 31-24, so it's quite possible you go on a losing streak of 3 or 4 games, you get right back down to seven. It's possible,
Exactly,
but
no
I don't
kidding.
know, man. I don't know. I just
I
they play good
I
team
do want to
ball.
give it up for the Cavs, though. I mean, come on. They're the fifth fastest team to reach their preseason win total um, in the past 30 years.
Yeah,
That's pretty impressive. What was it? 26 and a half, I think, at the beginning of the year was their win total.
it's nuts.
Um, it's unbelievable. I have no doubt that they'll have some momentum for now. I don't know how long they can sustain it. Um, we'll see. You know, I hope I'm wrong. I hope that they get a higher seed. You know what I'm saying? But I just I have a hard time committing to saying that I think they can.
All right, all right, all right. Well, I hope that you are wrong. Just a standpoint, just because the thing, man, is I love my sports in Cleveland. No, you got the Guardians. Other subject. We'll talk about that another time. I really don't care about that honestly. What the team name is, it's better
I don't
than
either.
the Washington football team. Whatever. Sorry, Lewis. I know you live out in the area, and those are your guys, Cobra Commander out there. But good point. Good point. Good point. Toronto won with the non-super team. Cats can do the same thing. Yeah, good point, Lewis. Very good point. Um, but Golden State, well, Golden State kind of super team because they just had crazy
Yeah.
guys on their team, crazy stuff. We're not built like that. We're a little more methodical and slow. Not a fast break team necessarily like Golden State was built. I think we were built more like San Antonio Spurs in their heyday with Tim Duncan and those guys. And who was a guy named for France? Tony
Tony
Parker.
Parker?
Yeah, I think we built more like that, and that's not a bad thing. Exactly, defense in mind. That defense wins
Yeah.
championships all day long. We know that, don't we,
Yes, it
Cole?
does. We do know
We
that.
know about that defense, baby. Woo, love it. Um,
Uh,
so I want to start a new segment tonight, but I'm gonna wait till Scott comes back. But we'll talk
Okay.
about that when it's gonna be fire. It's gonna be fun, a little fun, break from sports a little bit, be a little bit of sports in there, a little bit of trivia, stuff like that. It's gonna be a fun thing to do.
Ooh,
But I wait for Scott to get back and have you come back on and join us. It's gonna be epic.
sweet.
It's gonna be awesome. Um, so real quick, rugby.
Yeah.
Tell me a little more about. I'm not really familiar with rugby. My daughter is going to play rugby this year.
Really? Where at?
Well, they don't have a team at her school. She's playing in a club
Okay.
that's affiliated with her school, and she's going
Okay.
to practice on Mondays and Wednesdays.
Oh man.
So, or Tuesday and Thursday. I'm sorry. So she's going to play. Her season starts in March. I'm excited because I want her to
I'm
go out there and be
excited.
active. I want her to go out there and play, be active, and have
Right.
fun. So, what better way for me to get insight on the sport than talk to a rugby coach? So,
Absolutely.
real quick, give me a breakdown on how this game really goes.
Yeah, so I'm going to start with just history because I think it's
Okay.
really crucial to understanding. The way rugby started was there's a small town in England called Rugby. There's a school there, and they were playing a soccer game against, and they were a more thuggish school. And in the late 1800s, they were playing a soccer game against another school, and they were so fed up that these preppy kids are beating them. And one kid picked up the ball, walked it up into the goal, and set it down there. And um, that rugby football was born. So essentially, the goal is to get your ball into the try zone, which is like an end zone, and set the ball down. Um, you can achieve that by passing the ball laterally or backwards or kicking the ball forward. Um, it's 15 on 15 is the traditional way
Whoa,
to play.
Jesus
And then
Christ.
there's also sevens, which is, as it sounds, 7 on 7. That's what's played in the Olympics these days. Um, and it's tackle, it's full contact,
With no
mouth
pads.
mouth guards.
Oh,
The one thing that I will say about no pads that I think a lot of people miss though is when you've got pads, when you're playing football, dudes are flying around full speed, hitting each other.
yes.
In rugby, it's a much more controlled tackle. It's a lot harder to blast somebody without shoulder pads and a helmet.
Hmm.
And it's illegal to hit somebody above like their nipple line,
So it's
or above the
waist.
armpit line.
So it's
Yeah. So you're,
waist to nipple.
yeah.
Can you
I
go
mean, you'll
below? Can
get,
you go below the knees or anything, or
you can.
but it's not recommended.
It's not recommended. I mean, you're going to catch a cleat to the face.
Ooh,
I've caught one or two in my day. Um, it's a beautiful sport. You'll I mean, it took me a whole season before I even knew what I was doing or understood the game I was playing, and one day it just kind of clicks for you.
okay.
Um, and those are the super basics. There are many more intricacies you can get into, but everybody's going to explain them a little bit differently. It is a beautiful sport. It's growing so fast in our country. And I think one of the things I love the most about it is just how accessible it is. It's not hockey where you have to buy $1,000 worth of equipment just to go to your first practice.
Yeah,
It's,
you need cleats. That's it.
yeah, you need cleats and a mouth guard, and that's it, and you're good to go. It's super accessible. Um, it is fun, man. You can blow off some steam. You can show off your athleticism if you got it. I always struggled with that part. Um, but it's a fun sport. I don't have the words to express how amazing it is and how much it's meant to me in my life. Um, and I'm so thankful for the opportunities I've had, um, moving from playing to coaching. Obviously, I
It's
dealt with
different,
some
isn't it?
injuries. I dealt with some injuries to end my playing career. I had shoulder surgery in the beginning of 2020, and then in 2021, I had 3 knee surgeries on my left knee. Um, and in September, I was in a dark spot. Those injuries play with your mentals quite a bit.
Yeah.
Um, and so I was struggling with it. And I ran into someone I knew at a bar down here in Oxford. And she said, "Hey, I know you're not playing anymore. We don't have a coach right now. Why don't you come out to one practice, see how it goes?" I went to one practice and I was Coach Cole 2 hours in.
Nice.
And I was not allowed to not come back. And we went from the first game that they played, I'd been there a week, losing 105-5 was the final
What?
score of that game. We won our last game of the season 88 nothing.
So how does the scoring go in this?
It's 5 points for a try, and then a conversion. The kick is 2 points. So at the
Oh
college level,
wow.
it's an 80-minute game. Yeah.
Oh wow. Wow.
We went from losing 105-5 to winning 88 nothing.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Um, and so I think that, one, the women that play on my team are unbelievably dedicated, unbelievably coachable and receptive. Um, and I like to think I study. I mean, my film life is unbelievable, coach. Uh, I spend probably too much time watching film, trying to come up with ways to
It's never too
effectively
much film.
get them where they need to be. When you got homework, it is.
Yeah. You're right about
Um,
that. You're right about that.
but they're just so receptive to everything that it makes it easy. It makes me want to go and watch and learn more so I can bring it
Yeah.
to them. Um, and I think that I will be taking a fifth year here, so I'll be coaching next year as well. I think we have a very solid chance at running for a national title.
You got the bug, man. You got the coaching bug. That's how I started off. I volunteered. Hey, you want to volunteer
Yep.
coach? Sure, I'll volunteer coach. Next thing you know, 18 years later, I'm still doing it. It's
Yeah.
crazy. You get hooked in because when you see that athlete take your advice
Hmm.
and you see them actually do something on the field that you taught them how to do, and they come back to the sideline, if it look like it worked. The look in their eyes,
Yep.
that's it. It's like, oh, I'm hooked. I'm hooked.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I remember, especially some of these girls had no idea what rugby was. Just like you're going into it as a parent blind.
Yes.
And then to see them score that first try and the smiles on their faces, man, and like there's just pride with it. There's
Yeah.
pride with going from knowing nothing to being proficient. And to know that I was a stepping stone on the way to that is something that makes me incredibly proud.
It's such a good feeling, dude. Like, I talk to players all the time that I coached and that see me out somewhere or they send a tweet or something like, you know, Clay Johnson, who played for Cincinnati.
Hmm.
The stuff he said to me, man, I coached you 1 year, and he was saying something to me like I coached him his whole life, and that
Yeah.
made me feel great, made me still want to coach. You know, like wow, I made an impact on this kid's life, a small impact, but an impact. So it's like, all right, who else can I help?
W- One of my
You know,
favorite things, one of my favorite photos, I'll tell you, is I was in eighth grade and I had scored my first touchdown ever, and it was a fumble recovery touchdown. And there's just a photo of the hug when I came off the field there from you, coach, and it comes up in my Facebook memories every year, and I just can't help but smile ear to ear just because I remember coming off the field, hearing you screaming, "Yerk!" Um,
it's a good
and
time,
that
man. That's
I
what it's
love that.
about.
I see. Yeah,
That's what it's about. It's such
yeah,
a good feeling, man. It's and the connections you make. These ladies that you're coaching right now, you're gonna they're gonna invite you to their weddings and stuff. And
yeah,
this is my coach, and this is the great guy, and their kids are gonna look up to you like you coach my mom, and it's crazy. I got a kid right now at the school that I coached his dad in high school. He didn't play football, playing basketball, but he comes in, hey coach, I'm like, how you doing? And it's every day I see him,
yeah,
and like, God, looks like your dad. Like his genes are so strong because he looked just like him in high school. A spitting image, like a clone. It's crazy. But man, there's nothing really like coaching, man. It is a blessing to coach. Whatever sport you
yeah,
do coach is such a blessing. Um, it's just a wonderful thing to do. But let's get into a little something else here now. We talked about the Cavs. We talked
yeah,
about the Browns. Unfortunately, we did. We can't help ourselves. We are true Browns fans. No matter what we do, we're gonna talk about the Browns some kind of way. So might as well dive in all the way here. Do you want Baker Mayfield to coach the quarterback the Browns next year?
yes.
Why?
I think that he is a good quarterback. One, I mean,
Okay.
we all want a good quarterback. I think if he wasn't injured, he was on par to do great things. I mean, it's tough to judge a season when you get injured week two,
That's true.
and I think there was some weakness from the people in charge of the team that are the reason that he was able to drag the team down because of his injury all year. Um, I don't think you can blame a competitor for wanting to compete. So him wanting to play, I don't fault him for that. Um, I fault the people who allowed that to happen when it was clear that it was hurting the team. He's going to be blinded by his competitive nature. Of course, he's going to want to keep playing as long as his body isn't literally falling apart on the field. Um, I get it. So yes, I do, and I want that competitor on my team. I want that competitor leading my team. Um, that win at all costs mentality. Sure, it might have been a dumb decision for him to keep playing, but I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at him for it.
My take on Baker is this. I like Baker. Uh, I met him a while back, face to face, after the plant flag at Ohio State. I told him how I felt about it. We talked a little bit for half an hour. And after that, I was like, you know what? You're not bad. And he said, just give me a chance. Okay. Gave him a chance. Year one, you showed me something. Like, oh, here we go. We got a quarterback. Year two, you got lazy. Didn't have a good year. Year three, got a chef, got in shape, came back, balled out pretty good. I'm like, damn, okay, Baker, bat it. You got it, you know. Year four, you got hurt. If he can remain consistent, it's in for a good year this year if he's healthy. Judging by the way he's gone in the past. Here's my thing about that though. There's a lot of hate on Baker Mayfield, local and nationally. A lot of hate. Somebody dogged him today. Like somebody, Stephen A. Stephen A. hates him. I swear to God, this dude finds a way to get in mention Baker every day. He talked about Cincinnati and well, they lost to the Cleveland Browns and Baker Mayfield, 40 something. I'm like, dude, that was how many weeks ago? Come get over it. God. Um, I think you could I think Baker and take that hate and turn it into something positive. He's the kind of guy that feeds off of that and wants to prove everybody wrong, which is great. Competitor, like you said. If Baker Mayfield comes out in 2022 healthy and plays like he did when he was injured, he has to go. That's my thoughts. If Baker Mayfield can play like he did the first two games prior to the injury, the Browns are in good shape.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on who they pick up in the draft and free agency, because they're a little bit hurting right now at certain spots. Things have to change a little bit. I think defensively, they are starting to become a good team and will gel together next year and become a great team. That was a new defense they put out there this year. For the first time, your secondary was kind of healthy. That secondary is going to be one of the best in the league, I believe, once they're healthy. Our D line needs some help. Linebackers need some real help in linebackers. We need somebody to help out Joke. Because Joke's gonna be a stud. He took out Jackson. After that tackle he had, he didn't come back. And it was supposed to be a slight sprain. He didn't play the rest of the season. So he took him out. Um, Offensively, the line is solid. Running backs are solid. Our issue is receivers. We need to make sure we get number one receiver next year. After that, man, they're right back in the thick of things. But here's the thing about Cleveland media. We hype our teams up so much that I think it gets into their heads and they don't produce. Freddie Kitchens, when he was here, hyped up. This year, hyped up, didn't produce. When the Browns are not hyped up, they produce better. I don't know
I
if it's
also
something in the
think
locker room.
I think a big part of it though is just our perception as fans hearing it, getting fed that from the
Mm,
media. They're gonna have the best season ever, and then when they have even still a solid season, it's a letdown because of how much the media hyped them up.
yes, yes, I can see that too. Um, but the thing I don't like about Baker is the way he attacks people in the media. By that I
Hmm.
mean, a local media person, very popular one, made a comment about Baker and the coach not getting along. I believe that comment to be true, even though they don't have exactly concrete facts to support that. Read between the lines a little bit, and that's how you reported that, and that's your thing. You reported it how you wanted to report it. Baker coming back and clapping out, saying, "Stop! I'm not clickbait. Stop putting words in my mouth. Stop using me to feed your family. That kind of stuff." You could have just said, "There's no truth to that story, though. We're good." Like Stefanski did. They asked Stefanski straight up, "Are you and Baker good?" He said, "Yeah, we're good." Next question. That's all you gotta do. Whether you are lying through your teeth or whether you are telling the God's honest truth, you say, "We're good." Next question. You don't go after them because now you look like, hmm, maybe there's something to that. Why are you so defensive, Baker?
Right.
So it looks bad. It's a bad look on him. It's a frat boy look on him. Running from the cops look on him. Planting the flag, all kind of stuff like that. Cheesecake Factory things, stuff like that. Yeah, that was deep. But anyways, that's another story for our rated R version of our show. Man, and whether that's true or
Hey,
not, it
it's
doesn't matter.
a spectacular restaurant.
It is spectacular, especially if you park in the back. But anyways, Hey, supposedly she good with it from what I heard. She was like, "Go ahead, do your thing. Just don't do the other thing. You good. Go ahead, do you." Who
Heard
knows?
that.
I don't know. Great lady. Met her before too. She's awesome. Very friendly. Um, I think they're good people overall. I just think,
And that's exactly what I wanted to say too, though. I mean, what they've done for this community, the care that
yeah,
they have for this community goes such a long way in a place like Cleveland, I think. Um, that is hard to replace the way that
yes,
he's ingrained in our community. And I think that's arguably as important as on the field. Keeping
absolutely.
him in this place, I think, is important.
I think Baker Mayfield realizes this. Every city has that guy athletically, the guy. When LeBron was here, it didn't matter who was on the Browns or the Indians. LeBron was the guy. When he left,
Hmm.
you had Lindor. Lindor's gone now. We don't have a guy. Baker wants and needs to be that guy. You got Miles Garrett, but he ain't vocal enough. You got
Hmm.
Miles Garrett, that's fine. But he dunking on people in Westlake gyms and stuff when he should be playing football. Whatever. Baker needs and wants to embrace that title of the man in Cleveland. Whether in the Cavs are built like a team too much. There's no really focal point of the team right now. So it was supposed to be Kevin Love, but he didn't take too well to it. So then you have Baker Mayfield, who needs to be the guy. So year 5, Baker needs to ascend himself and wear that crown as the man in Cleveland.
Hmm.
I think he can do it. I think people want to use the term elite quarterback, but you got to define elite quarterbacks to me. You got to tell me what elite quarterback is. Is Tom Brady elite? Is Aaron Rodgers elite? Russell Wilson elite? Not this year. Um, Lamar Jackson, no, not elite. So is there such thing as an elite quarterback anymore? In my opinion, it's probably not. You have your below average, you have your trash, below average, average, slightly above average, and then you have your superstars. I want to say, but I don't want to use the word elite. Aaron Rodgers could be a superstar because of what he does in the field. He's kind of like an older Joe Burrow
Yeah.
with bad hair. Yeah, because he
That's
that's
a whole
rough.
mess.
That's rough. But his Take 5 commercials are funny. I'm sorry. Um,
I agree.
they're hilarious. I love them.
I saw a
But
picture
speaking
off
of Baker
topic.
hate,
Go
speaking
ahead.
of Baker hate, you got who's Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers doing State Farm commercials. Baker just progressive. Why is it that Baker gets so much hate for doing commercials, but the other two don't? Because they've proven themselves already? That they have rings? So if Baker win a ring, can leave him alone with that? Because all I hear in the national media, Baker always doing commercials instead of focusing on football. But he's focusing on football. He's out there studying. He knows the plays. He's focusing on his craft, but he's still making commercials like the other two guys are. So why so much
Yeah.
hate on him? I don't get it.
I don't either.
Like,
I like his commercials too.
they're funny.
They're good.
They're funny. The one with the cheese and the kids and stuff, that was funny. I
Yeah.
made me laugh. I watched it more than one time. If you watch a commercial and laugh at it more than one time, it's a good commercial.
I agree.
If you see it like 3 or 4 times a day, like that was funny. Every time you see it already, you already know what it is, but you still laugh at it. So that's great. Well, your face just flickered a bit. That was weird. Oh yes, that is true. That is true.
I
That is
like that
funny.
commercial because
Never not working.
I think that Troy Polamalu is one of the baddest ass dudes of all time.
Never not working. He had the drill. He's like, "You for real?" That looked like it was real emotions right there. He was like, back up, away from me. It was awesome. All right, man. So I think we could wrap it up with this one. I think that Baker Mayfield next year comes out. My prediction is he balls out next year. You get him a number one
Yeah.
receiver. You get him a Chris Olave, somebody like that caliber, and he just goes down the field and chucks it every time.
Yeah.
Plus that running game we got, You got to find a good blend to it, though. You got to have a blend to that running game and that passing attack. You got to find a happy medium in there. You don't want to run Chubb and Hunt too much, but you want to run them enough to you can dominate the clock, wear defense out, and then go up top on them. That's what I would do. So, any
You
final
know,
thoughts?
Case Keenum said it best, man. It feels good to have a full Chubb back there.
Case Keenum did some funny stuff. He does some funny stuff. Wow.
He is.
All right, Cole, man, I really appreciate you coming through tonight, man. Scott, you're missing 2 great weeks of sports talk, my friend. Hope you're back next week. We're gonna get that extra little show on the side up pretty soon. Have you back on to participate in that. But again, thank you for everything you do. I
Yeah,
appreciate you.
thank you.
Thank you for
Coach, thank
saving
you so
us,
much.
building us a cure to whatever you're gonna find a cure for one day. And actually, my shoulder hurts a little bit, so I'll probably call you about that later on.
Yeah, sounds good.
Hey, Cole Yerkowitz, I'm TJ Hill. Our producer, Lewis, thank you for being here with us tonight, buddy. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace. We out.